weekend, man.
It was exciting.
It wasn't even over until about 1 o'clock this afternoon.
I know. 1:45 when the Woj bomb hit.
That's when it happened. Official. Mark it down. Put it in our history. Coach stays. Oh, who we had, though, boys. Don't run away from the who you gots on Friday. Who we had, something we do every Monday, unlike those other sports shows that tell you who to bet on, then all of a sudden you lost all your money, and then they have no explanation why you bet on them. Not us. We try to tell you to go against us because we're going to be wrong. And you could have won a lot of money this weekend if you were sticking to that theory. Starting with the spread of NBA Game 2. Oh, this was -7.5. Wouldn't you believe it? 103.98. Was that the final? Or 105.98? Sorry, 105.98. Is that the final last night? You got to get the final. Hold on. I know it was right on the number.
I'll get it.
I don't have my NBA up.
It was 105.98.
105.98. That's what I thought. 105 minus 98 equals 7. Oh, Dibs got hooked. Got beat by the old classic hook. This game was in the bag for Dibster, as he said, dump dem points. Man, saw Luka missing free throws or technical foul free throws. Nobody's on the line. You know what the Mavs are bad at? Missing wide open threes. They are great at missing wide open threes, bad at making them. That's the way I should say that.
Oh, you stink!
Kurt and I, with our noses plugged, picked the points. Or excuse me, I was with Dibs. What the hell?
Really?
I was with Dibs.
I'm alone?
Kurt was alone and took the points and the Mavs. Kurt, you were right on that. Mark 1 for Kurt.
I don't mind losing, though, as long as the Celtics are up 2-0.
It's the points, man.
The blind nut finds a squirrel.
That's right.
That's right.
The blind nut found a squirrel, and that was Curtis on the NBA. Wow. NHL Game 1. You boys both had Florida. I had Edmonton.
Panthers are tough.
Panthers
right
are
now.
very tough. Remember when Bob Roski used to be like the second stringer?
Yeah. Now they just call him Bob.
Game 2 tonight back in Florida. ABC, ESPN, 1-0 lead for the Panthers. Got to come to play, Oilers. This is Stanley Cup, man. I just saw a graphic, too, on this Stanley Cup. I forgot how far away Edmonton is from the actual border of the United States.
Oh, yeah.
It is up there.
It's the middle of nowhere.
It is the middle of nowhere.
You got to drive to nowhere, and then you got to drive like 2 hours after nowhere.
Yeah. Why
Once
do you think
hit
they're so good
nowhere,
at hockey?
Not even close. That's all they got.
It's
all they
frozen
got.
10 months a year up there.
Frozen tundra.
They
It
wanted to
is.
play basketball, but the courts are all froze.
right.
Can't even get the ball through the net.
Ball won't
that.
dribble.
So that one, staying in Florida, you guys were right. You guys both picked the Panthers. I was
Check that one off.
still rooting for my man, Chris Knobloch, former head coach of our Wolfpack. Game 2 tonight.
Come on, Connor.
Come on, Connor. Right.
I was
Yeah.
watching the game.
Gotta be a hero.
I had a good laugh because they're the last two teams playing, and the best penalty killing team in the NHL right now in the playoffs are the Oilers. Number 2 team, the Panthers. And I was like, okay, so you've got a graphic up there on how good the Panthers are. The team they're playing is the only other team better than them in the postseason. So, yeah, it kind of makes sense that they're both in the NHL final.
Kurt 2-0, if you're keeping score here on the who we had from Friday.
That's 2 mistakes.
Yankees-Dodgers. Kurt took the Dodgers. Kurt was right.
Kurt was right. Nailed that one.
3-0. This was really all about Friday's game, which was a great
But
game.
the caveat
2-1.
was there's no Soto. Without Soto, different team.
Did you hear the fans cheering for Soto?
No, dude. Soto shouldn't play until the All-Star break if he needs to.
So they put Vaughn Grisham in the 5 spot, which was strategic because he's a left-handed bat, I'm guessing,
But not
right?
smart because he's not hit yet this year.
However, paid off because he did hit when they needed to. They're chanting, "We want Soto," and the guy blasts a 3-run home run.
I know.
Well, that shows you a Yankee fan.
Exactly, Kurt. Exactly. Dibs and I
Couldn't
both
be
picked
more
the
wrong
Yankees.
if you were born with your butt backward.
If he went to hit that and they didn't, and by the way, Judge had another big one last night. If they weren't to win that one yesterday, they'd get swept.
Well, when Gil was pitching over the weekend, they were just so high on him, how good he was, and he got blasted. So, hey.
I'm going to say this, and I was just thinking about it when I was looking at the game from yesterday and thinking they were going to get swept, that the Yankees don't really beat good teams. They kind of chew up on all these bottom feeders, and they get all those wins, and that's fine and all. That's going to get them, hopefully to the playoffs, but they got to start beating these good teams in series.
Well, they were hot,
That's all I
man.
see.
When they swept the Twins, swept the Giants, almost swept the Angels, beat up on the Padres. They've been winning series. I mean, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And some of these teams are pretty decent. They beat up on the Mariners, which is a really decent team. They split that series. They swept the White Sox, who they should. They continue to sweep the Twins. So some of these teams are good, but the Central's nowhere near as good as the East. The AL East and the NL East are the two of the top teams and two top divisions in baseball right now.
And the Yankees going to that Central Division to play the Kansas City Royals next. So there's some bottom feeders for you. Well, Royals are doing all right.
Royals aren't awful.
Royals aren't awful.
Bobby Witt Jr. is fantastic.
Kurt, that's where your winning puts to a halt there for the PGA. The Memorial goes to Dibs. I don't know why we all didn't pick Scotty Scheffler. I think we all should start picking Scotty Scheffler, especially if he is going to be playing every
Does that
day
guy
of
have
the
a
tournament.
pulse, though? Did you see man?
Nothing new to him. It's just a normal Sunday. Me
Dude,
winning
it
a
is.
tournament and how much? $4 million. He
Didn't
took
care.
home. $4
The only
million.
thing he wanted to do is see the baby.
Now, Kurt, you had our guy Keegan Bradley.
Whoops.
Scrolling. Let's see. Keegan Bradley.
Is he alive?
Oh, I found him. Tied for 43rd, +9 at the end of the day. It was a tough course, man. Not a lot of low scores.
Hey, even Scotty shot a 74 yesterday for the win. He said it was tough. He said 16, 17, 18 were brutal.
My guy, Christian Bujan was close. He's 4th place, but no
bad.
cigar there. Scotty Scheffler. That's a hey, man.
Zudenhout still made 1.4.
But we pick a PGA tournament right. However, for the second time, the only 2 times we've picked a PGA tournament right from one of us in the room, it's because one of us in the room picked Scotty Scheffler finally. Yeah.
Kind of a no-brainer.
Well, I don't know why we don't have that brain.
He keeps fighting the law. He's going to keep winning these tournaments.
We were all wrong on the Belmont Stakes. Dornock?
Nobody had Dornock. Come on.
Jason Worth?
Jason Worth didn't have Dornock.
I wish
He
Dornock
owns
had
a
like
horse.
a really rough, scraggly beard and like a long mane that just went everywhere.
By the way, I want to know how much Worth actually owns. He's a part owner. So I want to know how much. What does he own? The tail, a couple legs? How much does he own of the horse?
How much does Worth own of Dornock? The Mind Frame got second. None of us picked that either.
You said Mind Frame was going to be good.
It's
I heard you say it last
all
week.
the reports out from the practices have like just they're clocking them and it was good times. And then he made a run at the end. I would say this, and I don't want to take anything from my horsey Dornock, but if this was at really the Belmont, you would have had to run another
Quarter mile.
a quarter of a mile, and Mind Frame was catching you. And then Sierra Leone, my pick, got show. He got 3rd place. I had our winners, by the way, of the Belmont win, place, and show. Doug, I do believe had Dornock. I don't
Dougie.
have it in front of me. I need to go get it. I'll get it by the end of the show. But if you are one of our winners or players, participants for win, place, or show, calls will go out later this week for you to collect your gift cards from our friends at Bobby V's, Stanford, and Windsor Locks. Dude, I know so many horse players throughout this country. I don't know a soul that had anything Dornock. Not an exacta, not a trifecta, nothing in the supers, especially not to win. God bless if you had Dornock. God bless. 17-1, man. 17-1 into Mind Frame. And I know this is just horse talk right now. Mind Frame was a 7-5 like a week ago. Went off at 5-1. A 17-1 over top of a 5-1. That's a tasty exacta right there. I do believe the Super paid something. A 10-cent Super paid upward of $400.
Dornock finished 10th at the Kentucky Derby. The fact that they keep racing this horse and then it won the Belmont, give him credit. A lot of these people would have pulled that horse.
Third time's a charm, Deb.
Why did you do that? Why?
Just finding his legs. He was just finding his identity. And then he knew who he was, and he knew he was a winner. Congratulations, Dornock. Here's one that we were all in agreement. Wait, no, scratch that. One guy did not think Hurley was coming back. Dibs and I were on the Hurley's coming back train. Kurt, you were on the go to L.A. train? What? That's one I'm proud that you were wrong on.
No.
But Kurt definitely won the weekend with his Mavs pick, with his Panthers pick, and then also picking the Dodgers over the Yanks. Keegan Bradley fell off everyone, whenever you pick a PGA player, just start shooting bogeys. They just got that Kurt stank on them, and they can't get off. But then you missing the Hurley one was kind of a bigger miss. I don't know. I think Dibs, you may have taken Kurt then with that Scheffler and then the Panthers.
But I missed on the baseball, so I feel bad.
I'm
Yeah,
due for a
that
really
is
bad
your-
week.
I hate the freaking Dodgers. Almost swore there.
How'd London go?
London was great, man. Phillies, Mets. If you didn't watch, you missed a lot.
Last game was a good game.
Yeah, last game finished great ending. What they do to the field, I was telling John Ashmead that they take the whole field. Tim Kirkjian did a great job. They take the whole field, they move it 20 minutes into a warehouse, and they let it sit perfectly until it needs to be used again. And so from a couple years ago when the Red Sox and the Yankees used it, brought it right back out, set it up, do it perfect, boom. They moved the fences back a little bit because the fences were too short, so they wanted to make it a little bit more like, playing in the United States. Sold out both games.
108,000 paying customers to both games.
They are jamming into that place. So they must be promising soccer, and then all of a sudden baseball games break out. Or maybe Beckham's pitching for the Phillies tonight.
Did you notice jerseys? Was it like when we bring the NFL over there? Everyone's like
their
representing
helmets.
all the
Their
different
helmets
teams?
had local people like on their. They had local advertising on their helmets.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What
So-
about like the people in attendance? Did they have?
No, the Phillies fans, especially in yesterday's game, 60 to 70% Phillies fans flew in from the East Coast. So they had a great following.
That's amazing.
Mets fans, you're down on your Mets right now. I would have thought more people would fly. What is it, 5 hours from New York?
Do you think they gained a fan base from their London trip?
No.
Oh.
No. Tim Kirkjian showed that before the game. People have no idea who our biggest stars are. Bryce Harper, guys like the Lindor, all those guys. People have no clue.
What about Shohei? Are there Shohei fans in
I don't
London?
even think he asked them about Shohei. I don't think so.
Yes, it was great.
I think they're still about soccer,
Of course.
rugby,
Of course.
probably horse jumping.
Hey, man, I know that it's just 2 games, and Mets 1-1, Phillies 1-1. But the Mets, after the National Series, get one in London. They'll have a couple of
huge
days
win.
off.
That was a huge win.
Phillies are good.
Lindor, they moved him to the leadoff spot. He's actually starting to hit a little bit. But they put. I would say our major leaguers put on a great show. If you don't watch Major League Baseball and you're not watching how amazing they play it, they make it look easy. If you watch lower levels, it's certainly not easy. So, these guys, even though we may talk about them the way we talk about them, but I think when we go over to Europe and put on a show like that, I think they can't wait for us to come back. But again, MLB did such a crappy job
You told
of
me
promoting
every
that
time.
here in the
Yeah.
United States.
I had no idea.
I had no idea. And if my wife hadn't woken me up early and been like, oh, by the way, the game's on at 10 o'clock, I'm like, what? Wait, because I was getting ready for our own doubleheader in baseball that we had to play. I was like, I wouldn't have watched.
Had no idea that.
No idea what was
going on,
happening.
especially at 10 a.m.
No.
Here's one thing people should know about. Judge has already got 24 home runs.
He's unbelievable.
He's been hot.
Talk about Shohei and his
Hot.
14. People are underappreciating Aaron Judge right now.
And if you haven't learned about Gunnar Henderson on the Baltimore Orioles, he's not too
He's a
far
stud.
behind. He's already got 20 home runs.
And this is nothing against Jackson Holiday and being a number 1 overall pick. I think they played that card too much, and you don't notice how good the rest of the Orioles are. Their catcher is amazing. Rushman is a great catcher and a great player.
Could be the
They-
best.
They have some really good young pitchers, and they continue to get hurt. You know, we brought up the two Astros guys got hurt last week and getting Tommy John. You know, this is a marathon. It is going to be who survives the season that can play in the postseason, because so many injuries right now are plaguing the MLB.
On that note, I saw Scherzer did another rehab start where he looked really good. I saw Garrett Cole is like a week
He's
out
gonna
from
be
coming
fine.
back.
Yeah, he looks like he's in midseason form.
Both those guys are playing it right. Do you think that they're playing it in the way where like, hey man, let's do we really need to pitch in April and May? I'll just rehab.
No,
and get ready
I
in
think the
minors.
biggest problem is that cutting these guys short and only allowing them to pitch 5 innings, and so them thinking, and this used to be my mentality too when I was a reliever, I could throw it all out there for 2 innings. I really believe these guys are like, well, if I'm only going to go 80 to 100 pitches, I could really throw harder. I could throw my breaking balls harder. So these guys really are spinning it harder, throwing their changeup 90, 92. They're really bringing this, and that is destroying their joints and their shoulders much quicker, wearing these guys out. I can't believe Shohei needed 2 Tommy Johns in 5 years. So that's what should be disturbing to these major league teams. It's not about innings pitched anymore. It's not about pitch counts. It's about, why are these guys throwing so hard on every pitch? That they got to start looking into that.
Dodgers were on display on Saturday, man. Like that's an all-star team. Look at their 11-3 win over.
And a lot of their
the
guys are
Yankees.
injured.
They just fill them up with the former all-stars. Like their bench, everyone has been an all-star on that team.
And they're coached by a great manager. Dave Roberts is still cool as a cucumber. He was asked, did it freak you out on Friday when Aaron Boone tried to, bring out Soto? He's like, man, I wasn't worried about Soto. Soto's got a bad elbow. I'm not worried about him right now. Dave Roberts is just, they're all over that stuff. These guys are lifers, man. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll do Dibbles and Bits next.